Ever feel like your dog is walking you rather than the other way around? If you're like me, you are not alone. Stick around for this video up next on Yeti's Place. To find the best tips and tricks for training a puppy and owning a puppy, be sure to subscribe and click that bell notification. When a dog is bred for power and strength, it is important that you learn some appropriate leash walking skills, because otherwise your dog is going to be walking you. When Yeti was little, I would hook him onto his leash in the house and I would walk around the house with him on the leash. And he would be sitting there, you know, like trying to get the leash off and scratching it. Then once they're used to it a little bit more, you'll bring them outside. Have them get used to the leash. And then you could bring them to the backyard so they can do their job. Once they're used to that, you can start walking them. Treats are important when you're training your dog to walk properly on a leash. Because if you own a northern breed dog, these dogs are bred for walking in the Iditarod or pulling tons of equipment across the heavy snow. Yeti has no problem pulling me on a dog sled. He would love to pull me on a dog sled all year long if it wasn't summertime, because he honestly pulls me when I'm walking him on a regular walk with his regular normal leash on around his neck. I had been struggling for quite a while trying to walk my dog because I had a harness that I couldn't figure out how to put on him beforehand, and so I had him hooked up to a collar around his neck with the leash on the collar. And of course he's a really strong northern breed dog who loves to pull, and he was pulling my arm off. So I decided to fix that. I got him this harness. This harness is the easiest thing to put on a dog. I'm not joking, because the harness, okay, first of all, the harness has a big giant huge reflective strip. This guy comes in a few different colors. It's hooked up onto a leash on the top. It's nice because I actually have control over him. It's great. Now to get his harness on and off, and of course he's not sitting where I can easily get to it, but okay, you stand up. Okay. See how easily that came off? Okay, so there's, this part goes in front of him. So this big strip here, this big strip with the reflective strip, this goes over his head like that. Then there's this strap, this goes underneath his belly, and then over on this side there's a clip. It goes in the clip. He's hooked up, he's ready to go, and his leash, of course, is clipped right onto the back of the harness. This harness has saved my arm so many times. It's a great thing. Yeti can pull as hard as he wants to, and my arm is not going anywhere. I mean, I'll speed up, obviously, because I have to keep up with my dog, but it's not as terribly painful as it was before. If you are struggling with your dog, please do get one of these. The link is down below. This video is not sponsored either. I just had to share with everyone that special trick that I've learned. Because if you've ever had a dog who you struggle with, oh goodness, I know the feeling. And I want to help you find some great solutions for that. Come on, Yeti. So I have a confession. My dog loves treats, and I'm sure your dog does too, because what dog doesn't love treats? So I was starting to run really low on treats. Yeti begs me every night for treats, multiple treats, and he doesn't stop barking until I give him multiple treats. These are the neutral crunchy treats, and they're banana flavored, and oh my goodness, they smell exactly like banana. They are amazing, and he goes crazy over them. Natural stuff for your dog. Yeti loves these. And these, you can find these in my link down below. Okay, for training your dog, it's important that you get some little treats. These little treats, these are the Zooks Minis. I have these linked down below too. These are little, teeny tiny, like really little. Do you see how tiny those are? These are amazing for training your dog because you can easily stick a pocket full of these guys, and they're nice and soft and chewy, and give these to your dog to train your dog to do whatever you want. The reason why I switched to a harness for Yeti was because I struggled to keep him under control. So I searched high and low to find a strong, sturdy harness that was easy to get on and off of him. That's how I found this harness. And it has been a lifesaver for me and my arm. And it's also given me more control over my dog. So your dog is a very curious creature. They love to dig, and they love chasing squirrels and bunnies and rabbits and other people and dogs because, well, they have to check everything out. And you want to keep them away from things they're not supposed to get into, like deer poop. With a harness and a collar, that's the best way to keep them out of that trouble. You're eliminating the strain from their neck. You're placing it on their body instead. You have more control. They're not being choked to death, and you're able to keep them away from those nasty things. I was not in control of my dog when he was on a collar and a leash. Whenever you're walking a dog, regardless of whether or not it's on a harness or on a leash, you do want to get them under control first. By having them sit with a treat in your hand, have them sit, hook them up on their collar or leash. You want to calm your dog down. I always get out one of his favorite treats. Some more favorite treats of Yeti's are Yeti Treats. These are also linked down below. Our bakery snacks with turkey, quinoa, and butternut squash. You're gonna have your dog sit first, calm down. Then you're gonna give him the treat, you'll get him hooked up. And it's really nice and easy and quick and fast to get them hooked up when they're focused in on the treat. Now there are quite a few times where you're not going to have a treat, so it is important that you train your dog to be sure to look at you if you don't have a treat in your hand. I pretend that I have a treat in my hand by going, Yeti, look at me, and I hold my hand, my empty hand, up to my nose so he looks at me and he sits really nicely and he quiets down. Then I'm able to get him hooked up and brought outside right away. Because sometimes treats just aren't convenient. Just outside for a quick potty break and oh my goodness, there's a squirrel. You know how squirrels distract dogs. So you want to get their attention by doing something like that. Looking at you means their attention is focused on you and not on their surrounding environment. Now there are quite a few times that your dog gets distracted. Get them to focus on you by holding your hand up to your nose saying, look at me, Yeti, look at me. And then when they look at you, you're gonna give them a lot of praise. You'll especially praise them even more so if they're quiet. If your dog is still too distracted by those birds, those squirrels, bunnies, whatever there is in your backyard, don't bring them on a walk quite yet. Because on a walk, you're gonna see people and there will be dogs and other creatures outside. Get them under control first in your backyard. Get them used to being in your backyard, used to being on a leash or a harness if they're big enough and strong enough to need to have a harness. Now, once they start focusing on you, then it's okay to move on to a longer walk. Continue to work on the look at me, holding up a treat, having them look at you, having them sit on a walk. This is important if you come up to an intersection. So when you come up to an intersection, have your dog look at you, sit, be quiet, behave, be good, and then you can look both ways to make sure there's no traffic coming, and then you can proceed to walk out into the street. And your dog has to be under control if you're in the street. It's a much better bonding experience if you're able to communicate in a gentle, kind, fun way with your dog rather than a no, stop doing that, you crazy dog, knock it off. Use lots of treats when you're training your dog to walk with you on a leash. Over time, those treats can be phased out. Now there are times when we'll be on a walk on Yeti's harness and all of a sudden he'll see another dog or a squirrel or a gopher or some other type of animal and Yeti just goes crazy. That's when it's important that I get out my attention grabbing skills and have Yeti focus on me rather than on whatever sparked his attention. Because even though he's on a harness, he's still a really strong, powerful dog who can pull me really hard. So whenever he gets distracted, I do a quick pull back, so a quick one-time pull back like Yeti. And then I get his attention on me. I have him sit and I have him focus on me without the treat. Then once his focus is on me and after he's calmed down just a little bit, then we can proceed with the walk. And he's not yanking my arm off. Now, if your dog doesn't sit or listen to you, it is too distracted, regain their focus. Move closer to the distraction while you're still causing them to focus on you. Now, with a strong, powerful dog like Yeti, moving closer to that distraction, that might not be the best idea. If you have a smaller dog that you're more easily able to control, then that's okay, that you can move closer to that distraction. But if you have a powerful dog like Yeti, that might not be the best thing. So you would move away from the distraction a little bit, have them sit, focusing on you. Then you can move a little bit closer to the distraction. When your dog starts getting crazy, then you have them sit right away, focusing on you. Pay attention to you, not that distraction. When they're being a really good dog, the second they're really good, give them the treat, give them the praise, give them all types of attention. Let them know that they've been a good dog. One of the most important things to do with a dog on a walk is be sure to bring poop bags along. I'll have the poop bags linked down below too. Cleaning up after your dog, oh goodness. Can you imagine walking out of your house and stepping in dog poop? That is not fun to clean up. Therefore, you need to be respectful and you need to clean up after your dog pooping on a trail, pooping on the sidewalk, pooping wherever they're gonna poop. Clean up after your dog by grabbing that poop bag and cleaning it up. I have a poop bag container that I just clip onto his leash. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. That way he always has the poop bags with him whenever we're on a walk. When he poops, I am set and ready to go. For more tips on leash walking, check out this video and we'll bark at you next time.